The galaxy was quiet, but only for a moment. Stars burned in the black sky. Planet after planet revolved around distant suns. Advanced civilizations spread across the stars. Ships moved faster than light. Weapons could destroy worlds in minutes. But peace was fragile. On the planet Vetra, the Council of Klin ruled. Klin was strong, proud, and sure no one could challenge them. Their technology was unmatched. Their fleets controlled the outer sectors. They laughed at smaller civilizations. Among them, one race was weak. The humans. Humans were little more than stories in old records. Tiny, fragile, and barely able to survive on one planet. Klin scholars thought of them as primitive, worthless, insignificant. But the galaxy had a way of reminding the proud of their limits. Vatra shook violently. The ground cracked, fires spread, and towers crumbled. Alarms screamed across the cities. Klin had enemies, old rivals, who had grown patient, waiting for the right moment. Today was that moment. The sky turned red. Ships appeared, not hundreds, but thousands. Each one fired deadly beams that cut through Vetra's defenses like paper. Explosions ripped apart buildings, killing thousands. Fear spread like wildfire. The Klin One commander watched helplessly as everything fell apart. He had trained all his life to defend his world. He had fought wars, conquered enemies, and survived betrayals. But nothing could prepare him for this. Ships from his allies vanished, their crews dead or captured. His best soldiers were trapped. The commander's heart pounded. He had never felt this kind of fear, not in battle, not in duels or skirmishes. This was different. This was total loss. The cities burned. The oceans boiled. The air was thick with smoke. Families cried. Children screamed. Klin's citizens ran in every direction, hoping for safety that did not exist. The commander tried to organize defenses. Every weapon fired, every shield activated, but it was useless. The enemy had calculated everything. Every weakness exploited. Vetra was dying, and with it, the pride of the KLYNN. In the chaos, a strange pattern appeared in the attacks. It was subtle. Small symbols left in the ruins, hidden signals among the destruction. The commander did not understand. His scholars would later call them mistakes, random chance. But he felt something. Something ancient. Something unknown. Humans, the name was almost forgotten. Weak, tiny creatures from a distant world. They had no fleet, no empire, no power to challenge the great Klin. But somehow, the attacks carried echoes of their existence, a trace of thought, a hint of something that should not be ignored. The commander could not comprehend it. How could such weak beings leave a mark in the middle of such a disaster? He dismissed it. For now, survival was all that mattered. The enemy pushed closer. The planetary defenses failed, one by one. The entire cities vanished in firestorms. The commander watched his home die. He felt helpless. His family, his people, everything he loved gone. Pain and fear filled him. He wanted to surrender, but surrender was impossible. Survival was the only choice, and even that seemed uncertain. From the horizon, a strange glow appeared. It was faint, almost invisible, like a spark in the dark. The commander squinted. Energy pulses radiated from a buried structure deep beneath the surface. It was old, very old, older than any human memory or Klin records. He did not know what it was. He did not know if it was a trap. But something told him this was not the end. Something told him that the galaxy had more surprises waiting. And then, the first ship of the enemy fleet vanished without a trace. A ripple of energy spread through the battlefield, cutting the fire and smoke in half. The commander's heart skipped. He had never seen anything like it. The humans, he did not know them. He had never faced them. But he felt, deep in his chest, that their story had begun, and it would change everything. Human trait revealed the galaxy was silent again, but only for a moment. On the shattered surface of Vetra, fires still burned. Smoke rose like grey ghosts into the sky. The Klin commander moved through the ruins, his heart heavy with grief. His world was gone, his people scattered or dead. Yet something strange lingered beneath the destruction. He could feel it. A pulse, a rhythm in the ruins. Faint, almost imperceptible. It was not technology he knew, not alien weapons. There was something different, something alive. Meanwhile, far across the void, humans watched. They did not come in fleets of shining ships. They did not wield massive weapons. They were small, fragile, and easy to underestimate, and yet, in their minds and hearts, they carried something no alien could understand. The humans were stubborn. They refused to surrender. Even in the harshest conditions on Earth, they survived. Even when faced with disease, famine, or disaster, they found a way to endure. That endurance was more than strength. It was fire. It burned inside them, invisible but unbreakable. Long ago, humans had built devices, not weapons of mass destruction, but tools of survival and adaptation. Machines that learned, machines that changed, machines that waited, dormant, until the moment they were needed most. These artifacts had slept for centuries beneath Earth's crust, beneath deserts, beneath oceans, untouched and unrecognized. Now, in the cold emptiness of space, they began to stir. Small bursts of energy rippled through sensors. Alien scanners detected them, but could not identify them. They were simple, yet elegant, clever, a reflection of human ingenuity. The Clin commander stumbled across one of these artifacts, half buried in rubble. It was small, almost insignificant in appearance, a metal cube no larger than a human head. It pulsed faintly, as if alive. When he touched it, nothing happened. Yet a shiver ran down his spine. Something ancient, something unknown, answered his presence. Humans had always adapted. Where the universe used brute force, humans used cunning. Where the universe relied on weapons, humans relied on emotion, fear, anger, love, determination. These things powered their creations in ways no alien algorithm could ever match. The Clin commander did not know it yet, but the human's legacy had already begun. The artifacts were not just machines, they were extensions of human will. They could sense pain and courage. They could amplify determination. They could punish those who underestimated their creators. For now, the humans remained, hidden, observing, waiting. Their colonies were small, scattered, and seemingly powerless. But the galaxy had forgotten something vital. Humans do not surrender. They do not flee. They do not give up. Pain makes them stronger. Loss makes them wiser. Every setback is a lesson. Every threat a test of survival. As the Clin commander watched the artifact pulse, a distant star blinked. Not a signal from a fleet, not a warning from a neighbor, but a subtle shift in the energy patterns of the galaxy. Something stirred in the darkness. Something alive. Something human. He did not understand it. He could not know the full power or intent, but deep inside, he felt a chill of fear. This was more than a machine, more than an ancient relic. It was a spark of life that refused to die, and somewhere, on a small blue world, humans stirred. They had felt the galaxy's pulse, the cries of distant suffering, and the call of survival. Their time was coming. They were small. They were weak. They were nothing the Clin or any alien race had ever feared. But soon, the galaxy would learn. The galaxy was no longer silent. Vetra's skies were empty of life, but the scars remained. Fire still smoked across the cities. The Clin commander moved through the ruins, trying to gather what few survivors he could. Fear was everywhere. Pain filled every corner of the planet. His people had lost everything. Their homes, their families, their pride. But the danger was far from over. The alien fleet that had destroyed Vetra did not stop. They moved outward, crushing neighboring systems, claiming planets in a brutal sweep. Nothing could slow them. Nothing could resist. Their technology was perfect. Their strategy flawless. And yet, something was wrong. Small glitches appeared in their calculations, tiny anomalies in energy readings, signals that did not make sense. The humans had left traces. Across the void, the artifacts buried deep in Earth's crust began to pulse stronger. Simple sensors and alien scanners could not detect what these machines were doing. They were learning, they were responding, they were ready. The humans themselves were still unseen, still hidden on their small, fragile worlds. They had no fleets, no armies, no mighty weapons like the aliens. And yet, the galaxy was beginning to notice their presence. Not as conquerors, but as a force that could not be ignored. Back on Vetra, the Clin commander faced a new threat. A rogue fleet, corrupted by the enemy's own weapons, turned against their masters. Ships exploded mid-flight. Planet shields failed without warning. Entire systems disappeared in the blink of an eye. It was chaos. Pain had created power. Fear had shaped survival. The commander realized something he had never understood. Technology alone did not decide victory. Emotion, determination, stubbornness, the very things humans were known for could shift the tide of war. The humans were tiny in the galaxy, almost insignificant, yet their creations were proving otherwise. Small drones, hidden energy conduits, and adaptive machines began sabotaging the enemy fleet, cutting lines of attack, destabilizing weapons, and creating confusion. Nothing large or obvious, just precise, clever strikes that no alien mind had anticipated. The Klin commander watched helplessly as his enemies faltered, unable to grasp why. They had not counted on this. The humans had left marks on the galaxy hidden, unpredictable, unstoppable in ways that brute force could not measure. Pain had sharpened the humans' tools, loss had made them cunning. Every disaster had taught them to adapt. Every failure had made them stronger. The commander tried to warn the remaining Klin forces. "Do not underestimate what we do not see," he urged, but the words fell on deaf ears. Pride made them blind. They laughed at the idea that humans, tiny, weak humans, could be a threat. The humans remained hidden, yet their influence spread. Alien commanders reported strange energy spikes, machines acting without operators, and attacks that seemed almost alive. No alien knew where it came from or how to stop it. The galaxy itself seemed a whisper of change. Stars flickered in unusual patterns, planets shuddered, ancient structures awoke in distant systems. The humans' legacy, long dormant, was beginning to stir, and then it happened. A massive enemy ship, the size of a small moon, vanished in a flash of light. No explosion, no debris, just gone. Alien sensors went mad. Panic spread through their fleet. Ships turned on each other, believing betrayal was at hand. The Klin commander's heart raced. He had seen similar energy before on the artifact. It was humans. He still did not understand them. He still thought of them as weak, insignificant, almost invisible. And yet, the first signs of their power were already reshaping the galaxy. The commander looked at the horizon. His planet was gone, his people scattered, his enemies faltering, and somewhere, far across the stars, something small and fragile was about to make its first move. The universe was about to learn that humans never surrender. The galaxy believed it knew all there was to know about humans, tiny, fragile creatures, from a blue planet at the edge of the spiral. Weak, scattered, insignificant. The alien empires dismissed them without thought. Rackets called them primitive. Scholars laughed at the idea that humans could influence galactic events. And yet, they were wrong. The Klin commander watched from the ruins of Vatra. His people were dying, his world destroyed. Yet in the chaos, subtle signs of life persisted. Small pulses of energy flared across the battlefield. Ships vanished, weapons misfired, entire systems went dark. The enemy blamed chance, miscalculations, cosmic anomalies, but the commander knew better. Something unknown was stirring, something human, that aliens did not see it yet. They moved boldly, certain of victory. Their arrogance was total. They gathered fleets to crush scattered systems, to punish worlds that had resisted them. They mocked the Klin survivors, thinking them weak and broken, and the humans, forgotten. The humans remained hidden on their small, fragile worlds, watching, observing, waiting. They had no fleets to challenge the alien might, no armies to march across the stars, but they had what the galaxy had never measured: human will, the stubborn refusal to surrender, the courage to endure pain, and the ability to turn suffering into power. Even now, humans survived in conditions that would kill aliens in minutes. Deserts, oceans, wastelands, frozen mountains. Human colonies adapted, learned, and endured. Every hardship sharpened them. Every loss fueled them. They were small, but their minds were vast. Their hearts were strong. Their spirit was unbreakable. Meanwhile, the aliens unleashed devastating strikes. Planets fell. Cities crumbled. Millions died. But humans did not panic. They retreated when needed. They hid. They studied. And they learned. Every assault from the enemy left a marker lesson encoded into machines, into devices, into artifacts long buried. The Klin commander realized something profound. The humans' tools were not just machines, they were reflections of human thought, devices that adapted, reacted, and evolved. Machines that listened to courage, defiance, and survival instinct. Machines that punished arrogance. The alien fleets remained confident. They laughed at the idea that a species so small, so weak, could alter the tide of the universe. Pride blinded them. They ignored the strange energy readings, the vanished ships, the unexplained chaos. They mocked the Klin survivors who warned them, but humans had already begun to tip the scales. Artifacts that had slept for centuries now stirred, subtly undermining alien technology. Ships misfired, systems overloaded, communications jammed, chaos spread, but quietly, invisibly. The humans did not strike openly, they prepared, they adapted, and they waited for the perfect moment. The Klin commander moved through the ruins, witnessing alien arrogance firsthand. He saw fleets arrogantly circling barren planets, thinking victory was assured. He saw alien scholars dismiss anomalies as mistakes. He felt a bitter sense of irony. The galaxy had mocked humans for centuries, yet humans had planted the seeds of their own revenge. For the first time, he understood that human power was invisible, patient, and terrifying. Not strength, not size, not weapons, but will, stubbornness, courage, the refusal to give up. And then it happened. A signal appeared across the galaxy. Faint, almost unnoticeable. A ripple in the energy field, originating from the hidden human artifacts on Earth. Nothing large, nothing obvious, yet it spread faster than light, touching systems the aliens controlled. Ships experienced glitches, weapons failed, and even the proudest fleets paused in confusion. The aliens laughed, thinking it a minor error, a coincidence. They did not understand. They could not see it coming. They still underestimated humans. But the seeds had been planted. The spark was alive, and soon the galaxy would witness the storm that these tiny, fragile humans could unleash. The commander stared into the darkness, and the humans were unknown, weak, insignificant, and yet, somehow, he felt it. The universe was about to change. The galaxy was no longer calm. Alien fleets moved with arrogance, confident that victory was assured. Their ships gleamed in the void, weapons primed, shields up. They had destroyed countless worlds. They believed the humans were nothing, tinny, fragile, a species too weak to even survive. They were wrong. From hidden corners of space, the humans began to strike. Not with massive fleets or blazing weapons, but with cunning and precision. Ancient artifacts, long dormant beneath Earth's surface, activated. Energy pulses raced through space, striking ships in ways no alien technology could predict. Weapons failed, engines jammed, shields collapsed without warning. Entire fleets vanished. The Klin commander watched in disbelief. His allies' ships fell, yet no humans appeared. It was as if the universe itself had turned against the arrogant alien empires. Every strike carried intelligence, strategy, and purpose. Every failure of the enemy was a lesson learned by human machines, adapting in real time. Humans were invisible, yet unstoppable. On their small, blue world, humans worked tirelessly. Scientists, engineers, and ordinary citizens guided the artifacts with precision. They were not afraid of death, not afraid of pain. Every sacrifice, every risk strengthened their devices, amplified their reach, and sharpened their strategy. Emotional strength powered their machines. Courage fueled their actions. Stubbornness made them relentless. The first major strike hit an alien flagship. It vanished without a trace, leaving the fleet in chaos. Panic spread faster than light. The alien commander shouted orders, but nothing worked. Ships collided, weapons misfired, and hyperdrives failed. The humans had turned the battlefield into a maze of traps, illusions, and impossible calculations. Pain had become power. Fear had become weakness. The Klin commander realized the truth. The humans were not weak. They were a force of nature. Their legacy, hidden in ancient machines, had been waiting for this moment. Their strength was not in size or brute force. It was in will, adaptability, and the refusal to surrender. Every hardship they had faced over millennia had prepared them for this. The aliens tried to respond with brute force, but it was useless. Humans adapted faster than they could attack. Fleets were outmaneuvered. Worlds thought lost were saved. Colonies that had been abandoned thrived again. Every move the aliens made played into human strategy. The humans, finally revealed themselves. Small ships emerged from hidden systems, coordinated by ancient artifacts. There were not many, but every human pilot, every crew member, carried centuries of survival instinct, courage, and stubborn defiance. The aliens saw it too late. The humans were fearless. They did not flee. They did not panic. They did not surrender. The tide turned. Alien. Fleets that had once crushed civilizations now fell before humans. Systems that had been under alien control were liberated in hours. The galaxy's greatest powers had underestimated the humans and, now, they paid the price. The Kling commander, standing on the last intact city of his ruined world, watched the humans dominate. Awe and fear filled him. He had seen death, betrayal, and war, but never anything like this. A small species, long dismissed, had become the force no one could ignore. And still, the humans did not stop. They pressed forward, adaptive, relentless, fearless. The galaxy learned a painful lesson. Intelligence, courage, and determination could defeat even the most advanced technology. Pain and loss were not weaknesses, they were fuel. Humans never surrendered. The alien empires began to retreat, broken and humbled. The galaxy shook with the revelation that humans, once insignificant, were now a power to be feared. And somewhere, deep in the ruins of Earth, more artifacts waited, ready to awaken when needed. Kling Commander's heart pounded. He realized the truth. The humans had only begun their story. The galaxy was silent, but now in a different way. Fear replaced arrogance. Awe replaced laughter.